Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5. Starting at number 5. Roccat Pyro. It can be difficult to find a mechanical gaming keyboard worth your time for under $100. But that's where this budget brand excels. Roccat produces a wide range of affordable gaming accessories. But its Pyro mechanical keyboard does far more than the bare minimum you might expect. We were seriously impressed by the smooth, responsive TTC switches in here. Particularly seeing as the whole experience still remained satisfying and tactile while linear in nature. There's a speedy snap back after each key press, which makes gliding across the deck all the more natural. And while you are sharing your media controls with the function row, you even get a badass looking volume dial to play with. The chassis itself is a plastic material, which is to be expected at this price tag. But the brushed effect underneath the keys does make the whole experience feel a little more premium than it actually is. The smoother ABS keycaps feel soft under the hand, but unfortunately do tell of this lower price point. There's nothing to grip onto here, which was a small frustration in our testing. Coming at number 4. Roccat Vulcan 121 AIMO. The Roccat Vulcan 121 AIMO is a keyboard that turns heads. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at thanks to its durable aluminum frame, exposed key stems, and vibrant RGB lighting. Much like the original Roccat Vulcan 120 AIMO. Our test copy consistently drew compliments whenever anyone saw it on our desk. It's not just a pretty face either. The Vulcan 121's performance is every bit as good. While the bottom row's unusual convex shape won't suit everyone, we found this deck to be comfortable, reliable, and satisfying to use. Titan Switch Mechanical, Tactile. Designed and built entirely by Roccat engineers and developed for gamers who love the feel of mechanical switches, but demand the feel of the crisp, tactile bump and instant responsiveness. Advanced anti-ghosting, technology optimized for gamers to ensure every keystroke of the most used keys is registered, no matter how frantic the action gets. IMA Illumination. Roccat's proprietary lighting ecosystem connects compatible devices present vivid lighting scenarios right out of the box, without the need for extensive configuration, with full backlighting in 8 million colors. Mixer-style media controls. The volume dial and backlit media buttons allow you to adjust volume and mute/unmute on the fly, or toggle over to lighting control to adjust brightness. Customized your way, Roccat's Easy Shift Plus technology adds a secondary function to compatible keys. Just hold down the designated modifier key for double the command power in an instant. Detachable palm rest, attaching with a premium magnetic solution. The included palm rest lets you adjust your setup to whatever's comfortable for you, whether it's a relaxed typing or aggressive gaming style. At number 3. HyperX Alloy Elite 2. The HyperX Alloy Elite 2 sits in a Goldilocks zone of high-end features and reasonable pricing, making it the best gaming keyboard for the majority of users. That's because of the suite of onboard functions, dedicated media keys, USB pass-through, and bright RGB lighting. And the slick design of HyperX's proprietary red switches. It's difficult to find a deck that combines all of these specs into a price point that doesn't stray too far into the $100 bracket, and certainly not with the build quality on offer here. We were particularly impressed with the red linear switches tucked away under those pudding-style keycaps. Unfortunately, the HyperX Alloy Elite 2 isn't without its sacrifices. We were disappointed to find that this model ships with cheaper ABS keycaps, while you're still getting double-shot legends, which will improve durability. 2 weeks of testing quickly left oily shine on regularly tapped keys, which made the textureless caps feel even less sturdy underhand. Nevertheless, you just don't see this level of performance and features on many keyboards in this price range. If you're running up against a $100 budget, we'd heavily recommend keeping a close eye on deals here. Or pushing past that cutoff slightly for far better value for money. Number 2 of my list. Razer Synosa V2. Gaming keyboards are an essential purchase if you play on PC, but they can easily break the bank. In contrast to the Huntsman V2 Analog's hefty MSRP, however, the Razer Synosa V2 is a budget-minded godsend. Although it's not the best gaming keyboard on paper, it still puts in a very respectable performance at an affordable price. As a Membrana device, this version of the Synosa is much quieter than the competition. A design feature that we particularly appreciated compared to the louder mechanical decks we're used to seeing. That's because its keys are pressing down on a rubbery sheet, meaning you don't get that distracting typewriter clack. Our fingers were flying across them in use, but they never felt cheap. They're much lighter switches than those found in cheaper membrane keyboards, like the Rockcat Magma featured elsewhere on this list. So we'd recommend if you're looking for twitch reflex actions without the price tag of a more expensive mechanical option. The smooth plastic keycaps were satisfying to type with, too. Considering the Synosa V2's low cost, that's an impressive feat. We did encounter a few squeaky keys in our test unit. And this has long been an issue in our experience with Razer Synosa keyboards. While this isn't constant, it is certainly noticeable. Macro settings which allow you to program each key add further value. While a smaller footprint means you won't have trouble fitting it on your desk. Once there, it certainly looks the part. RGB lighting adds a pop of color to its sleek black shell. And number 1. Razer Huntsman V2 Analog. The elevator pitch for this keyboard is right there on the tin. The Razer Huntsman V2 Analog exists to replicate the feel of an analog stick using switches that offer a sliding scale of actuation, rather than a simple on-off clicker. That isn't something we've seen before when it comes to the best gaming keyboards. And this piece of premium kit made a hearty impression as a result. That analog design might not sound like a big deal, but it is. Of course, we don't think this substitute will match the ease of the best joysticks in something like Elite Dangerous. But in our testing it was certainly a much smoother experience with the Huntsman V2 Analog in tow. Edging around asteroids and making subtle flight path changes felt incredible compared to the clunkier, sweeping motions we were used to. Of course, those analog keys will only come in clutch if you're playing a game that supports them. Certain games, or even sections within games, will become convinced that you're using a controller as soon as you hit those variable WASD keys, leaving certain functions mapped to triggers that don't exist. We got around this issue by remapping more commands. But it's worth noting you'll need to spend a lot of time in the Synapse software to really make the most of this feature set. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.